Some of you have tried every relaxation technique available. Breathing exercises, meditation apps, cold showers, magnesium supplements. And you are still anxious, still wired at 11 p.m., still waking at 3 a.m. with a racing mind. And you won't even ask why. Not because the technique are wrong, but because you have been applying solutions without understanding the system they are meant to fix. There is a single nerve in your body that controls your transition from threat to safety, from sympathetic activation to parasympathetic recovery, from cortisol flooding to cellular repair. And most people have never heard its name spoken in a clinical context. The vagus nerve, cranial nerve axis, the longest nerve in the autonomic nervous system, running from your brainstem through your heart, your lungs, your gut, in the way to your colon. It is not a concept. It is a measurable biological asset. The strength of its signaling that clinicians call vagal tone can be directly observed in your heart rate variability data. High vagal tone means your nervous system transitions efficiently between states. Low vagal tone means you are physiologically stuck, caught in sympathetic override even when the threat is gone. In 2009, Thayer and Line published a landmark paper in Biological Psychology establishing vagal tone as a predictor of cardiovascular health, cognitive flexibility, immune function, and emotional regulation, independent of any other variable. Your HRV is not just a fitness metric. It is a road out of your nervous system's ability to recover. Here is what most people, including most clinicians, do not explain clearly. 80% of the fibers in the vagus nerve are afferent. They travel upwards from the gut towards your brain, not the other way around, which means your nervous system is primarily listening to your body, not commanding it. When your gut is inflamed from chronic stress, poor sleep, processed food, or environmental toxins, those afferent signals are transmitting a continuous threat message to your brainstem. Your HPA axis responds, cortisol rises, sympathetic tone dominates. You try to calm your mind, but you're working against a biological signal that is originating below your diaphragm. The off switch is not in your thoughts. It is in your body, and specifically, it is in this nerve. Stephen Porges' Polyvagal Theory, first published in 1994 and expanded in his 2011 book, gave us a framework that changes everything about how we interpret stress responses. Porges identified 3 distinct autonomic states, not 2. The first, ventral vagal. This is safety, social engagement, presence, creative thinking, cellular repair, the state your body needs to recover. The second, sympathetic activation, fight or flight, necessary and adaptive in acute threat, destructive when chronic. Third, dorsal vagal shut down, the freeze state, not calm, collapsed, the state of burnout, dissociation, and the fatigue that sleep cannot fix. The critical point is this. Most highly functional adults between 35 and 60 are oscillating between sympathetic activation and dorsal shutdown and mistaking shutdown for rest. You are not relaxing when you collapse on the sofa at 9 p.m. Your nervous system is shutting down. That is a fundamentally different biological event. On the SUDS scale, subjective unit of states, 0 is complete physiological safety and recovery. 10 is maximum activation or shutdown. Where are you right now? Not where you think you should be, where you actually are. If your number is above 5 and you cannot assign a clear cause, stay with me, because the protocol in the next 2 minutes will give you 5 evidence-based tools to move that number today, not after 6 weeks of practice. For those of you in the 35 to 60 journey, there is a specific biological compounding effect that makes vagal tone more urgent, not less, as you age. RMSSD. The HRV metric most directly associated with vagal tone declines at an average rate of approximately 1 millisecond per year after the age of 25. This is well documented, but in perimenopause and andropause, the decline accelerates. Estrogen and testosterone both modulate HPA axis reactivity. As they decline, the nervous system becomes more sensitive to stress signals and less efficient at returning to baseline, which means the same stresses that your 32 years old self recovered from overnight is now taking 3 days to clear. That is not weakness. That is altered biology, and biology responds to the right input. If you are seeing your own physiology in this explanation, you are exactly where this lecture is designed to take you. In the next 90 seconds, I'm giving you a Vagal Reset Protocol, 5 techniques, all peer-reviewed, ranked by speed of effect and evidence strength. And if this lecture series is changing how you understand your own nervous system, subscribe. One click. Every lecture comes to you the moment it is published. 5 interventions ranked from fastest effect to deepest systemic change. Intervention 1. Resonance frequency breathing. 5.5 breaths per minute. Inhale for 5.5 seconds. Exhale for 5.5 seconds. This specific rhythm maximizes heart rate variability amplitude and directly stimulates the vagus nerve via baroreceptors in your aortic arch. Lever and Gavitz demonstrated this in Frontiers in Psychology 2014. 20 minutes daily produces measurable HRV improvement within 4 weeks. Start with 5 minutes before sleep. Intervention 2. Cold water facial immersion. Fill a bowl 10 to 15 degrees Celsius. Submerge your face for 30 seconds. This activates the mammalian dive reflex, a hardwired vagal response that immediately drops heart rate and activates parasympathetic dominance. Effects are measurable within 90 seconds. This is not biohacking. This is a documented autonomic response present in every mammal. Intervention 3. Vocal vagal activation. Humming, gargling the water for 30 seconds, singing, even alone. This stimulates vocal branches of the vagus nerve through vibration in the posterior throat. This is why social vocalization is inherently regulating. Forge's research on the Safe Sound Protocol confirms this mechanism directly. 30 seconds of deep humming at the end of the high-stress meeting is a clinical-grade intervention. Intervention 4. Auricular stimulation. The ear contains the auricular branch of the vagus nerve, the only external access point to the vagal pathway. Gentle massage of the tragus, the small cartilage flap at the front of the ear canal for 60 seconds on both sides activates this branch. 2015 study from Fraxen, Arif, and Brad in neuroscience confirmed auricular vagal stimulation produces measurable changes in brainstem activation. You can do this in any meetings, nobody will notice. Intervention 5, the daily HRV floor. None of these interventions compounds without measurement. Track your RMSSD every morning before you leave bed. Same device, same position, same 2-minute window. You are not looking for a single number. You are looking for your personal trend. A decline in 7-day average is an early signal that your allostatic load is exceeding your recovery capacity. That signal gives you time to respond before the system crashes. Your nervous system is not malfunctioning, it is responding accurately to a set of inputs it was never designed to sustain at this frequency. The vagus nerve is the primary pathway through which your body signals safety to your brain. Vagal tone is trainable, it is measurable, and every intervention in this protocol is supported by peer-reviewed evidence, not by tradition, not by wellness culture, not by anecdote. You now have 5 tools. You have a measurement system, and you have a biological explanation for the fatigue, the anxiety, and the sleep that doesn't recover you. In the next lecture, we go into the system that amplifies or destroys everything the vagus nerve is trying to do, the perimenopause metabolism shift. What actually happens in your nervous system, your insulin sensitivity, and your cortisol reactivity as estrogen declines, and what lifestyle medicine says about reversing it. Leave your SUDS number in the comments, the one from 3 minutes ago. I want to see where this audience is starting.